Hello everyone, you okay? Red Pill Phil here. Big thank you to everyone who's newly subscribed. Hope you've enjoyed the video so far and resonate where I'm coming from. A big hi to all old subscribers and a big hello and hi to everyone just watching this now who shared, liked, whatever, passed it across. Thanks for taking the time out. Right, I felt compelled to kind of say something on this next subject because I'd heard so much. It's kind of old news now, really, but everyone else has kind of had their say, so I thought I'd kind of say something regarding this Munroe bergdorf incident over the BBC, spitting out venomous words to the populace. I mean, don't know where anyone comes across being like that, but we know who the real culprit is. I mean, for her to say the words that she said, particularly that white people are incessantly racist, systematically racist in this country, and even to say that you're basically out and out evil. Big words, big words. I mean, I don't know how anyone can level that at any race at all. I just do not see the logic. But it makes more sense of not so much who has provided the message, but who has allowed that message to be put out there, i.e. the BBC. If they're the advocates for, stomp out racism, then why are they allowing somebody to come out and say something so hateful against another race? Surely that is the very definition of reverse racism. So it doesn't make any sense to me that is hurtful to everyone. Even if you're not white, you should be offended by that, really. Because that is kind of saying, well, because of the actions of some people, that means that whole race of people have got the just as much chance of being just as evil as that. And you know what? There's some truth in that. As individuals, we all, we're either good or bad. And that is the kind of bottom line in it all. Now, to me, there's a couple of incidents in my life which totally kicks that ball out the park, totally. I've had one incident where I was with another chap. We both had our girlfriends. We were both seeing our girlfriends home. So in order to do that, we had to travel into town so they could get a connecting bus out of town. So we done that. We went to town. See you later. Bye-bye. And all that kind of stuff. My friend was still with his girlfriend. I decided to go to the bus stop. At that point, I was living in a place called Openshaw, just outside of Manchester, about 4 or 5 miles. I was getting the 219, I do believe. I was waiting for that. It wasn't in yet. At that time, and still do, love my music. I had my personal stereo with me, so I just put my tunes on, started listening and looking through my tunes. I was approached by this white chap, young lad, who overly tried to befriend me, basically. Just tried to really be nice, and I thought it was weird at the time, but at the time I thought, well, we'll just go with the flow. So I'm trying to kind of not engage myself too much, but the guy is being kind of full on nice, asking what music am I listening to while I've got earphones in, and then asking if I've got any tapes to sell. Now, at that time, I was a DJ and I was selling tapes, so I had a big pocket full of tapes. I didn't necessarily want any transaction to kind of happen there because I felt it was quite a weird moment, but then, because I thought, well, if the geezer does want a tape, I was trying to look through actual tapes that I was prepared to kind of sell to the geezer. While all this was transpiring, I didn't realise, but he's got a couple of mates coming behind me. As I turn round, one of them is jumping in the air and gives me a blow to the head. Next thing you know, they're all trying to have a dig at me. In the melee of it all, I lose my chain. In the melee of it all, I try and get away from it all. I'm not really looking at having a fight with anyone. I just want to get out of it. You can see I'm outnumbered anyway, so what's the point in going all out, But at the same time, semi-try to defend myself. So I'm going to the bus At this point, the bus arrives. I go to get on the bus. Now, ironically, the bus driver's an Asian guy, Indian, Pakistani, I'm not sure what his actual descent was. Now, the door was actually closed and I'm banging on the door. He just looks at me and drives off. Now, I can half understand it on the opinion of, well, maybe he's to do with it all and maybe he's a bit of a ruffin. But if he only knew the actual truth, that was a genuine racist attack. But the funny thing was about it, the actual geezer who was attacking me, who was asking me about my music, who instigated the attack, while all this was transpiring, he decided to tell me why he was doing it. Because days previous, he got robbed by a black geezer. So that's it. Just a hatred. Maybe the next time he had an opportunity to pick on a guy that's on his own, who's black, yeah, I'll have a piece of him. And that's what happened. So he's decided to just buy into the divide and conquer and just go with it, right? So that's that. So, not demonising. Let's put it another way. She's saying there's no such thing as reverse racism. Okay, we'll get on this one. Not too long after that event, I was out clubbing with black friends that I moved with. We was young. We was in a musical movement. I was a DJ, and there was a lot of followers, just mates, just kind of rolling. Yeah, young, like I say. After the club had finished, the club that we was at was a club in Stockport, Cocoa Savannahs. If anyone ever has heard of it, we was outside the club. Now, there's a few of us, several of us. I could see the vibe. I was there for the best intentions, just having a nobble with my mates. But I could see that to some people it kind of looked somewhat intimidating. I could see the actions within some of the people I was moving with was acting in a way that was like, you kind of bring in a little bit of animosity here, yeah, you could say. So you would say that people then have got that intimidation factor that I'm not really going to remonstrate with anyone when there's so many people within that party and maybe it's not politically correct and, you know, I feel semi-intimidated. So as the night goes on, we're outside this club. One of my so-called friends, black friend, for some reason, has got a taser on him. Not the gun one that fires out the wires, but the one that's got the prongs. Yeah, so you kind of have to physically have contact. So he proceeds into just deciding to choose who he's going to have as a victim. Now, every one of them was white. Some of them was with, I think they were, if I remember rightly, they were more or less all males. I don't think they've done it on any females that I remember, but I can't thoroughly say for sure. But what I do know for sure is that there was more males than anything, and there was males when they was with their missus, which is the height of disrespect. Now, if you look at it in that context, you're putting that guy in a position because he's feeling threatened now. You've just done that to him totally out of the blue. You totally dissed him. You've dissed him in front of his missus, so there's a sense of honour. Now, either he walks away and be a bigger and better person, or he's going to defend his honour, but he's seeing a load of black faces and he's feeling slightly intimidated, so he's going to walk away. But then, he might go home thinking, black bastards, all the way home. And then he might end up robbing another geezer who's mixed race, listening to his headphones a couple of weeks later because he's just been tasered. So this is where the cycle perpetuates all the time. So for me, freedom of speech, you've got the right to say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, there's got to be actions to your words and there's got to be consequences to the words. And when you're spilling such hatred directed at one race of people, it's divisive. That ain't healing nothing, that ain't fixing nothing. If you've got a genuine gripe about how you feel, then try and remedy it. Try and let's come up with a solution. Not do that. Alienate yourself from maybe a lot of black people. Maybe some black people are going to get right on board with what you're saying and they'll weaponise themselves and they might have a little taser one day or they might not. But then again, you might get some white people now that are weaponised by your words and they might just attack a young little black kid, a black girl, a black guy, a black woman, whatever. So there's consequences. You've got to have a sense of rationale, a sense of intelligence, or a sense of doing the right thing. You can bollock anybody, but you can't general sweep. Freaking hell. There's just no way you can do that. We've all races have got bad reputations in one respect or another. I don't think any race gets away with that. If you're going to go back long enough over history, and if you're going to go back long enough over history anyway, we're all that much amalgamated because we've all pretty much conquered each other over the friggin' eons. So who's truly genetically British, who's truly genetically anything? We're all an amalgamation and we're all beautiful. We're all human beings. So all this divide and conquer shit and now you said that so I hate him and now you... That ain't winning. I'm all about fighting radical Islam. I'm not about anything other. I love my fellow human being and I am hoping that my fellow human being loves me too. And I'm hoping that my fellow human being can see through this shit instead of reacting to it. Now I think if we've got an evil party within all this, I'm going to direct it at the media. Because it's the media that is allowing this, that is promoting it. I mean, you'd actually watch this Munroe video and it looks like something out of Clockwork Orange. I mean, the actual video, the way it's flashing, the way it's been presented, that's like a mind control program right there. That's just there to get deep in your brain. And then you've got a young kid that may be watching that. What are they supposed to perceive as a black person or as a white person listening to that garbage? So it's not helpful. It's only trying to enrich what they want, which is a race war. They try to empower it. They try to empower people to step up now. Now's your chance. If you've got a problem with racism, now speak up because we'll back you. Because look, it's sad. So if anyone's got a problem and if anyone wants to react at the right problem. Get it right at the root. And the root is the problem, which is for me fundamentally more worse than radical Islam, which is the BBC, which is all the other mainstream media, which is creating havoc and chaos on the general public, the normal working class. We're all being shat on from a great height. And it's time that we kind of civilly just say, no, I'm not having this. Pull away from it. Me personally, I don't watch BBC. There's one or two programmes. Match of the Day was one of them. And I'm pulling away from that now. And my wife won't want to hear that because my wife is a football head even more than I am. A mad red. So she'll still probably want to watch it. So she's going to be pissed when I'm kind of moaning when it's on. Or when I'm deciding to go out the room. But I'm going to have to make a stance. I'm done. I'm done with Mr. Lineker, Mr. Colonel Sanders lookalike, spouting all this shit about how he don't want racism. But you're working for an organisation that's directly promoting it and it's stirring the pot. But you're not saying nothing about that, Mr. Lineker, are you? Hey? With your finger licking good? You're a dick. And you need to wake up. But you've made your money. You're sat on the right side of the fence now, so you can just say what you want to people. And because you're in a position of power and authority, unfortunately, the uninformed are going to listen to you. So, we've got to be rational, haven't we? You know what I mean? Otherwise, they're going to get exactly what they want, which is a full-on out race war. They want to import all the racial strife that's going on in America, which has got its issues, which is unjust. on both sides. But they want to import that here when that is not necessarily the issue, but they want to kind of go, well, come on, let's all make it one big problem, because what we want is racial strife on a global level, and then it can all kick the fuck off, and then we can put our stomping boots on and we can sort the lot of them out. No more freedom of speech, no more internet, surveil their ass, because look at them. But they don't need to know that we are the one that started it all. The old divide and conquer. The old order out of chaos. So it's time for us as individuals to realise that and wake up to it. So I'm hoping we do. I'm hoping we do. Because it gets to everyone. It gets to me. I'm not infallible. Some of this shit winds me right down. But at the end of the day, you do see the logic in it and you kind of come back up again. But my God, it's not easy. So when you're uninformed and you're just running around believing, the most important thing is your mobile phone and listening to any freaking story and just believing it, you're totally there to be had. And that's who they're targeting. So they'll then demonise their good friends, which are like, me and you. And then we're the racists, we're the Nazis. It's all a brainwashing mind program, mind control, without a doubt. And it's working to a T. But enough is enough. You've got to cut it off at the source. And the BBC is the signal. And if that plug is plugged in, unplug it. Unplug it. Disassociate yourself from what BBC represents. It's not going to be easy. I'm sure they do a lot of programmes that we all love. But there's a lot of predictive programming in what they say. A lot of agenda. A lot of social engineering in what they say. And it's time to wake up to how they present what is so-called news and lifestyle. Social engineering, that's all it is. So this is Red Pill Phil, loving myself, loving white people, loving black people, loving brown, green, frigging blue. As long as you've got a head on your shoulders, as long as you know right from wrong, as long as you can abide by the civil laws that everyone else abides by, you will be right by me. You are not evil. We have all got that potential, but we all come good in the end, I'm sure. So, like and subscribe. Thanks for listening to me ramble for the last 18 minutes. Much respect, and just stay strong. Seriously, we can break this signal somehow. See you later, guys.